Seoul 2015. Dance luminaries from around the globe have gathered at one place. 5 legends in the field of dance sharing interesting stories from their worlds. Today was a day to meet a very special guest, and he is getting out of the car right now. Today's guest on the INNERview, who could it be? He is none other than the legend of the Bolshoi Ballet, Andris Liepa.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Clyde. Yes, thank you for coming on our show.
Andris.
I hope you're feeling okay today.
Yes.
He asked to take a photo with our host Jennifer, who he's met for the first time. His artistic talent shines even when posing for a picture. Andris Liepa says he is most happy when he's dancing. The INNERview was there to meet him.
I don't know who made this thing happen here, but it's a smart people. If you want to develop good companies, good dancers, you have to have this kind of information. I think in our profession, most important thing is the gift to be a hard worker. All other talents are not that important. You could develop any of them if you have a talent to work. And if you believe, then dream comes true. Work is bringing them to the shine. You know, it's like a diamond. More you have different grounds, then more it shines.
Well, welcome to our show. I'm very honored to have you on the INNERview. Thank you so much once again for being on our show.
Thank you.
I understand that this is not your first visit to Korea. You've been to Korea
Before.
in the past, so this is your...
It's a fourth trip.
Fourth trip.
The first time I came in 90s, I danced with Mariinsky Theater. Then I came to help Julie Moon to stage Swan Lake. I rehearsed with the principals.
Yes.
And a couple of years ago, I was in Yosu. On the expo. We were bringing stars of Bolshoi and Mariinsky to the expo, and we had a performance during the exhibition.
I see.
And this is my fourth visit here.
How do you like it so far? Has each visit been different? Does it feel different to be here for the fourth time?
Yes, it is. Today, I think the forum which I visit and which started yesterday developed another perspective of the Korean ballet, and I do believe our share of the knowledge and interests is very important for us who bring something to the Korean ballet, and to get something from you as well, because the steps you are doing by learning this art form and developing your own styles is amazing.
At a hotel in Seoul, an important forum took place under the title of Global Trends and the Future of Dance in Korea. Dance luminaries from different countries have gathered to share their knowledge.
대한민국의 무용수로서, 발레 무용수로서 거의 솔리스트급, 주역급을 하고 있는 우리의 자랑스러운 무용수들이 있음을 오늘 말씀드릴 수 있겠습니다.
5 renowned dance experts from the US and Russia took the stage, but this time to discuss the latest international dance trend.
I believe that dance in the world right now is thriving. I think it's an exciting time for dance right now, and I firmly believe that the future of dance is going to be bright and even more exciting.
Under the media spotlight, our guest on the INNERview gave a speech. He emphasized the importance of music in ballet.
Composers are giving chance to the choreographer and to the dancers develop themselves and become a modern of their own time.
What was the impression of dance in Korea from the perspective of a dancer from the Bolshoi Ballet?
You know that Korean dancers were very reserved, but not anymore. I see there's they get out of their shells and they show what they feel, and that's what impresses me, for example.
한국 발레에 대해서 이제 많이 얘기를 해주셨는데 이제 그런 걸 듣다 보니까 한국 발레가 많이 발전했구나도 많이 느끼고
지금 한국 발레가 많이 올라오고 있는 시기니까 저희가 열심히 잘해야 될 것 같습니다.
Through this exchange, Korea was able to show the potential it possessed, and future of dance in Korea looked brighter. It was a forum that brought the world together under one theme of dance. A truly meaningful event for all.
Right. I think it's a great opportunity for, ballet dancers here. So you are here, I guess, mainly for the forum, but also to see our great Korean ballet dancers that are hoping to step on that world stage. So how could they step on the world stage? How could they become one of the best ballet dancers in the world?
Usually, children's how they want to become ballet dancers. They come to see Nutcracker or Swan Lake or Sleeping Beauty. They see beautiful tutus, crowns.
That's true.
Prince on stage comes and gives you arm, and they're so exciting, and they want to dance. They want this dream to come true. When they come to the ballet school, they take away everything, put the ballet shoes, and put you in front of the bar, and for 2 hours, they make you do one step. There's no dancing in it. There's no joy. You until you go on stage. It's supposed to pass 2 or 3 years, and then to become a swan queen, you need to work for 8 or 10 years.
So I'm sure throughout the many years of you traveling and touring and performing in all different countries, you have met Korean ballet stars as well. What was your impression of them? Or is there maybe a Korean dancer, a ballet dancer that you remember the most?
Definitely Julie Moon, because we danced together one of the greatest ballets.
Yes.
Giselle, and we danced with her Chopignana. And I think it was a great example. She's very professional, very talented, and what was really amazed me that she was a great artist as well. To learn the steps and to do the correct musical movements, it's one thing. And another thing is to become an artist. I understand that she worked in the United States and she studied in Washington. And I knew that through her and her friends, the Universal Academy has opened in Washington as well. I was on the opening of this academy, and I was amazed what facility was there.
I see.
And I'm already for several years seeing good dancers coming out of this academy. And I heard even yesterday, day before, the kids from Seoul going there. They study here, then they go there, and they come back.
Right.
And this is like exchange. What's wonderful about Korean ballet, it's whiteness, People who study here, they have a chance to use the great teachers. Now it's not prohibited for our Russian teachers to come to Korea and to teach. Doesn't matter for how long.
Right.
And I knew that lots of very good and talented teachers are working here, which is not that good for Russia.
The School of Dance at the Korea National University of Arts. Many artists here dream of becoming a prima ballerina. One student was given the honor to briefly dance in front of Andris Liepa. It seems as though there was something left to be desired here. The student must have been nervous being in front of a great legend. He listens intensely to Andris's advice.
But when you go
Andris
go down
Liepa
with
looks
this leg,
very serious.
you
No
shouldn't
kidding around
do
when it
that.
comes to
You
ballet.
have to be on this muscle, which I
Although
said
the student did
was
not dance
supposed to be a
long,
little bit
Andris
wider.
Liepa quickly
Yeah.
catches what is needed
Because
to be
it
improved.
will be easier to stand, because when you do like that, take a look. You see my muscles is here, and then it's stuck. Because when you go like that, you're using just these muscles, but you have to use inside muscles as well. Yes, and this one. Then it's going to be more established when you go down. When you just head. Yes. Bravo. Good.
리에빠 선생님도 발레리노, 훌륭한 발레리노셨기 때문에 저 했던 거를 그대로 전수해 주시는 것 같아가지고 노하우를 전수해 주시는 것 같아서 그게 너무 좋았어요.
He takes interest in another dance student, and he has more tips to share.
Like that. Try to more. You lazy.
He is talking in a louder voice, which must mean that he's not happy with the jump. Andris Liepa has a special tip for the student. The lucky student learns a more natural way to make the jump.
Down. You have to do it like that. Yes. You know.
The student listens to the advice given by Andris and looks very serious.
제가 미처 생각하지 못했던 것까지 이렇게 구체적으로 이렇게 집어주셨던 것 같아요. 근데 그러니까 이게 전체적인 그림을 이렇게 고쳐주시니까 저도 더 춤추기가 편하고 좋았던 것 같아요.
We wonder what thoughts have passed through Andris's mind as he gave advice to Korean students. He may have reminisced on the passion he had as a dancer on stage. Although it wasn't long, the time spent together has provided a memory to cherish for the students as well as for Andris Liepa himself.
As you have seen Korean ballet dancers or dancers that are learning right now, that are hoping to, I guess, step on the world stage, what do you think about their, I guess, abilities? Did you see any special traits in any Korean ballet dancers?
I think probably what we started with, the way how they're working. They know how to develop and get the result through the hard work. There's no other prescriptions how to become a good dancer. Just you have to work very hard.
So do you think that Korean ballet dancers are very hardworking?
You know, this is something in a nation. You know, like it's one of the leading countries in the world.
Yes.
It's not by size, because the people are working hard. They know how to develop things. They know how to use their resources. They know how to use their brain.
Right. So you do feel that it's, Koreans have developed greatly, especially
Listen,
in the ballet
the
world.
Russia is full of the Korean gadgets, televisions, cars. And in a ballet as well, you know, like for 20 years, they step forward. It's amazing what we have developed for like 280 years.
Right.
You're getting this period for 20, 25 years.
Now, do you have any plans to include maybe a Korean ballet dancer in any projects in the future? You may not have one in mind just now, but do you hope to, or do you see yourself?
Listen, the success of Kim in Mariinsky Theater is incredible. He's a wonderful dancer. I see how much he's improved for the last 2 or 3 years. He's now dancing in Paris Opera. He has plans this year to dance in Paris Opera. Last year he danced in New York, and he's a star of the Mariinsky. You know, why not? All these guys who worked with us on the competitions, they're wonderful. Nina Ananiashvili last year invited a couple of dancers to Georgia. It means that the level of the dancers is very high, and to become a principal dancer and star of the Mariinsky, it's a big success.
Andris Liepa was the principal dancer at the Bolshoi Ballet in the 1980s. For more than 8 years, he has built his reputation as a dancer through major performances. In 1988, he became the first Russian dancer allowed to work officially with a foreign company. Andris Liepa has performed all over the world with various dance companies in the US, Italy, and Switzerland. Let's meet Andris Liepa, who will share stories of his brilliant life as a ballet dancer.
I understand that you performed in a foreign country, which happened to be New York, the first to be of your generation as a Russian ballet dancer. This was back in the 80s, I believe. You went to the US, you performed in the West, but this was when you were officially allowed to, or you were the only one that was actually officially allowed to travel to unlimited countries. Is that correct?
I graduated from the school in 1981. Joined the Bolshoi. For 8 years I worked in the Bolshoi, and we travel a lot.
Yes.
We performed in Paris, in London, in New York, in South America, in Italy. We were quite often in the West because at that moment it was politically very important that people should see the good things from Russia. And people in the West, they started to love Soviet Union. The idea of the Russian artist was very popular in the West. But everyone who wanted to work in the West need to defect.
Right.
Because it was prohibited to be a Soviet citizen and work in the Western companies. Then it could show that you don't like the system.
Right.
But at that time, there was a competition between the socialist system and capitalist system. And it was politically unfair for Soviet Union if their dancers were working in the Western companies, and they were not allowed to do it.
Right.
But we had already examples. Rudolf Nureyev, Valery Panov, Natalia Makarova, Mikhail Baryshnikov, then Valentina Kozlova, they all defected.
Right.
But in 1988, in Soviet Union, Gorbachev came to the power, and in Russia started perestroika, the new way of modernizing the socialist system. And they start to think differently, and probably I was the first who tried the smell of freedom, because I went to the West and I signed a contract with American Ballet Theater, and Baryshnikov at that time was director of the American Ballet Theater, artistic director, and I came back home because everybody thought I defected as well.
Oh.
I joined ABT, and Mikhail Baryshnikov staged the Swan Lake, and I danced it. I had a premiere of his Swan Lake in Arirang County, and during the Christmas time we had 2 weeks off, and I just bought the ticket to fly back to Soviet Union. They were in shock because they decided that I defected as everybody else, and I'm not going to come back. I came back, and they didn't know what to do with me. Or not allow me to go back to America, or keep me staying in Soviet Union. But it was a perestroika time. People were afraid not to do something new and modern.
Oh, I see.
And they said to me, okay, why not, go. And they give to me, I was one of the few people in the Soviet Union who got the official multiple exit visa.
Oh, I thought you were the first of
Yes,
just a few. But you stayed for 2 weeks. Did you enjoy that full 2 weeks and return back to New York?
First of all, I came to Bolshoi Theater when people saw me in the class because they were all in shock. Then I went to the Ministry of Culture and talked to the minister that I'm not defector. I
Right.
want to study and work there and to come back. in the end, it happened.
Right.
In 2 years' time, when Misha Baryshnikov, he left the company, I got the invitation from the Mariinsky Theater. I did it. Then
took the
Americans
offer.
were in shock. They were in shock that I have my place in the company. I had a good contract.
Right.
And why did I left?
Which is a very important process, I guess, of yes, leading you to where you are today, as we all call you a legend, Bolshoi, a legend. Now, how was it different, or maybe how is it different, performing in Russia and perhaps in America? Is there a big difference, or was there a big difference back then?
The Russian ballet tradition is more than 287 years old. At the school when it started. When I was in America, I was always telling them, you know, our ballet tradition's older than your country. It means that traditions of the audience is the same long. And there's, you know, you cannot do performing yourself. You have to do it for the audience.
Right.
And audience develops the taste for the ballet. Not just the turns, you know, like when you turn well and jump well, you know, everybody excited because it looks attractive.
Right.
But there's a little details which people are really know and noticing. For example, in Giselle, my father told me, when you dance in the first act, there is Giselle, she is counting petals on the flower. And he said, always before the performance, check please the flower, and you need to take off the petal.
Oh, what, why?
Why? Because when she counted, there was first meeting, and she was a little bit afraid when she sees Albrecht. And she said, can I count on the petals? And it's like just like for her own needs. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And she counted, and something from the God said no. And she said, no, 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 I'm not going to develop our relationship. And what he does, he takes the pedal and he comes, you didn't count it correctly.
I see.
And this little detail, probably in America, they wouldn't notice this. But in Russia, all these little things, when I danced many times, more than like 500 times I danced Giselle. It doesn't matter in which city, in which country, I was doing it. I don't know how many people notice this, but I know there is 1 or 2 people who getting the sense of it. And then in the end, in the mad scene, when Giselle getting mad from abusement, and she was, you know, she didn't know that he was high-leveled man, that he was not who he was pretended to be, and she started in the air to count, and she said to herself, but I was counting, and she remembers that something like God said to her no. And this is like in her acting, it comes back again. And if you don't do that, it doesn't work. And if you do one little detail, pedal in all ballet, 2 hours long, that's what I'm talking now, like little details is very important in ballet.
So you've obviously learned a lot from your father.
He started, first of all, as a swimmer.
Oh,
And
he was a swimmer.
And he was like a champion of the young division. He was a very good sculptor.
Yes, I read, yeah.
And when I was young, I started to sculpt as well. And ballet dancing, when you see yourself in the mirror, you're sculpting yourself. Sometimes when you want to have a different shape of the leg, you could build up. You could build up more muscles here. The knee will look a little bit smaller, and even the shape of the leg and your body would look different. You know, the sculpture in our profession is very important. When I see dancer, I really see which movement is beautiful, which not.
I see.
And what he should do, how to turn his upper body, how to turn his head, that it should look beautiful.
So you obviously were inspired by your father. You learned a lot through your father.
My father, once he came from Paris, I was in the beginning of 80s, even early, like 75, and he brought me skateboard. And he said, the boys are doing something there in front of the Eiffel Tower. Take a look. He did a couple of pictures. There was no video at that time. It was just the pictures, how they're standing on. And I liked it very much, and I started to do the skatings. I'm skating until now. When you skate, you have to be prepared to anything what happened.
Right.
In a ballet, sometimes we're too stiff because we were just trained that way. When you're skating, your body is supposed to be absolutely free and strong and relaxed, because you cannot be stiff,
Right.
because you will fail immediately. You know, and this is when you're on stage as well. You know, some people after the pirouette, they just fell. And some people after, if something is wrong, they know how to get around it.
Right.
And audience didn't see it. Maybe professionals will notice that something was wrong, but they know how to get through the difficulties.
And I understand that your sister is also involved. She's involved in dancing as well. So you were surrounded by ballet when you grew up. Has that played a very important role? I mean, how has that impacted you in your career choice? How has that helped you?
Interesting question. Because I'll tell you that my mother, she's an actress in a drama theater. It means that we're stuck between two theaters. Bolshoi Ballet in Bolshoi and drama theater.
I see.
Where my mother was an actress. And we had acting lessons, watching the drama performances, and we had great examples of the classical ballet in Bolshoi. And we're visiting very often all the performances. All the performances my father was doing in Bolshoi Theater, I was sitting in the first row watching him.
Since age?
3.
3. Okay. A little boy.
3, yeah. And probably my personal feelings about ballet started when I first time came to see Nutcracker. I was Bolshoi Theater, and it's interesting, in 20 years time I started to dance in the Bolshoi, and one of the first roles which I really was dreaming, was Prince in Nutcracker.
I see. Wow, that must have been very meaningful.
And you know, like it's some kind of a dream from a childhood comes true. My father was a teacher in Bolshoi Academy as well.
Yes.
And he teach us pas de deux. There is a classical lessons, and there was a pas de deux, which is very important. In the last 3 years, the boys start to lift the girls, and we start to learn the pas de deux. It's a separate teachers, and my father was a great partner, and he really teach us how to be a great partner as well.
Do you remember a moment sometime in the past that was so painful for you, it was so difficult and hard that you just wanted to stop dancing, but you had to continue on?
In my case, when I came first time and studied in the ballet, I already knew how difficult it is. I have seen my father preparing himself for the performance. I knew all these things, how difficult it is. I knew that my father had the injuries. We knew how difficult it is. It's not that easy. And all those things are coming to the one beautiful performance. But it's so many things has to come together. And you know, worst thing about us, you dance today well, it doesn't mean that next day you will dance the same.
That's true.
I always liked when the performance didn't came well, because I knew that the next one is going to be better.
You could do better.
You have to be positive in ballet, otherwise you cannot grow. You know, through the difficulties to the stars, but there's difficulties coming every day. The teacher is saying it's wrong, wrong, wrong. You know, sometimes even teacher puts you in some position that you don't know what is wrong, what not. When I teach myself in rehearsal rooms, I always noticed this is not good, this is not good, but that was good. Because memory of the dancer has to keep good things as well. Some of the teachers, they thinking that to say the mistakes is the most important thing.
Right.
I do believe that dancer should notice what was good today in the rehearsal, what was good today on the performance, to keep this thing in mind.
I'm sure there were many times that you felt those difficulties.
Probably it was an example for me to grow up as a dancer and to be an artist when I learned the Spectre de la Rose, because 12 minutes to run through on the stage, I realized that I need to be strong enough, I have to have a stamina. And what I was doing 3 times, one by one, without stopping, to be more free on stage. And when I was rehearsing, I was going 3 times, one by one, to keep going, stop first time, and then go immediately second time, and the third time.
I see.
In the day of the performance, when I come on stage, I run through the whole performance, and I keep the strength for the second one. Because when you warm up, you're not tired, and the second one is the strongest one.
Oh, I see. Oh, I would imagine that if you warm up, that would take away your energy as well, and you would end up being tired.
Even in the ballet, you have the second level. You're tired, then you rest a little bit, and then open something what gives you a chance to work much longer and much stronger. Because after first feeling that you're tired, it gets away in 3 to 5 minutes,
and then it gives you more
gives
energy.
you something more.
Oh, I see. What kind of support do you think that ballet dancers need, and what kind of advice can you give, ballet dancers that are hoping to, I guess, dance on the world stage?
Well, first of all, support from the family. I had always 100% support from my family. I didn't think my father even thought that I will become a star as I became, because he knew and he had a very high standards. In age 23, when he see me on stage in one of the roles, he said to me, "Now I see you could dance Albrecht in Giselle." Just when he saw me on stage doing things how he thought supposed to be right.
I see.
Not because he didn't believe in me, but he had to see it. And this is like a high standards which we have in Russia. And I do believe more government is supporting ballet. For example, the forum and me being here, it's a great thing that happened.
You and I were talking as we walked into this area about how anyone in their 30s, 20s, 40s, it doesn't matter how old you are, you can learn ballet anytime you want. You told me that it's a great way to actually make your dreams come true. Absolutely. A great way to exercise, great way to gain confidence. I think it would be a great way to gain confidence as well.
I got the idea from United States because during the day off in American Ballet Theater, we're taking classes in steps. And when I come in steps, I see the Baryshnikov is doing class, Filipov is giving classes, we're all standing there. And my sister, you know, she's opened 8 schools in Moscow.
8?
And it became so popular. Yes, started like 5 or 6 years ago. Started with one school. And very interesting, started from the age 3. Girls from age 3 until it's timeless. You know, the girls coming when they have already 2 children, they already had their own business developed. They don't need to spend that much time there. Okay, early from 8 o'clock till 11 before they need to be on their job, they go and do classes instead of just running in
On the
in
stationary
sports.
bike, right.
You know, like to do this liftings. You know, you could do the steps, you could do ballet, and some of the girls, they were dreaming in their childhood to become
Yes.
ballerinas, and in age 30, 35, or 40, you know, the dream comes true. Why not just do ballet? It's beautiful. You know, it really makes you happy.
I think I agree with you. I'm gonna
Please,
try.
please do.
I'm gonna give it
Nothing
a try.
happens for nothing. Probably we met and we did the pose.
Yes,
You
we
see?
did. I did it.
Yes, you did it, and
did
I
it.
really noticed that I have to do it with you.
I don't know how graceful I looked on camera, but I did it, and I was very proud of myself.
Again, the kids are coming to the school, they look like that. You know, and then it's like a flower. When you
Right.
see it like that, then it develops and
that,
becomes beautiful flower.
Right, that's true. Now, could you tell us about maybe what you have planned for the future? What kinds of plans do you have?
Well, first of all, I have this project called Russian Seasons 21st Century.
Yes.
I started 20 years ago in 1992, and I restored the 12 ballets from the Diaghilev period. And I think I continue to do it. I am ahead of my father's foundation. Next year is the 80th anniversary of Andris Liepa. We're planning to do big gala in the Bolshoi Theater.
Oh, I see.
We'll have a performance in the Bolshoi dedicated to my dad. And yesterday I received a mail from Mariinsky Theater that they knew that next year is 80th anniversary of my father, and they want to do a performance in Mariinsky as well.
Now, is there maybe one last thing you would like to mention to our viewers that are perhaps watching from around the globe? Your fans out there, to people that are maybe hoping to send their children, you know, to ballet lessons or ballet school.
Ballet became my life, and I dedicated all my life to ballet, same as my father, same as my sister. And I always come out of the classroom rehearsing with kids with joy. And they're tired, but they want to come again and do more rehearsals. Because if you do it correctly, it really brings joy from the work. And if you become a fanatic, you know, in a good way, and you get the fun from the hard work, then you could become a great artist.
Well, thank you so much for that great piece of advice. I do want to say that we are short on time, but I had a wonderful time. I want to thank you so much for agreeing to be on our show and for this great interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.